This is about the fascinating conspiracy theory that claims these most powerful families in the world own 99% of the wealth, leaving 1% for the rest of the world to fight over. These are families that have a hold in almost every sphere of life, be it in politics, business, or entertainment. The 13 bloodlines are said to have connections to wealth and power that are simply unimaginable. And these families span from Europe to China. The leading researcher behind the Illuminati families is a man named Fritz Sprangmeyer, an author and educator, and he has presented some of the most compelling details about the Illuminati bloodline. Before you continue watching the film documentary about Illuminati families, it is imperative that you realize that all these are popular points of view and remain just a conspiracy theory unless proven otherwise. But goddamn, is it a great conspiracy theory? I care not what puppet is placed on the throne of England through the empire. The man who controls Britain's money supply controls the British Empire, and I control British money supply, Nathan Mayer Rothschild said. Some say in an attempt to restore balance in the world, a new world order was formed by America and Europe's most elite, both in terms of wealth and power, with historical roots that date back centuries. This powerhouse, formed by 13 families, is known to be controlling practically everything around the globe, from political parties around the world, courthouses, education institutions, natural resources, foreign policies, food, national economies, media houses, and even terrorist organizations. They are the ones who decide where and when the next terror attack is going to happen. They decide when the markets will fall. They decide when a new government needs to take over. They decide what happens at the UN. They decide practically everything. The US and the UK government's interest backing for global spread of genetically modified seeds was in fact the implementation of decades-long policy of the Rockefeller Foundation since the 1930s, when it funded the Nazi eugenics research, means mass-scale population reduction and control of darker-skinned races by an Anglo-Saxon white elite. As some of these circles saw it, whereas the means of population reduction was costly and not that efficient, F. William Wingder, in his book called Seeds of Destruction. What we didn't know, modern democracy like the way we know it, is not more than 250 years old. The world as we know it has always been ruled by the ones with absolute power, those who knew how to control wealth and resources, by those who knew how to control their people by hook or by crook. The New World Order aims to work on a similar philosophy of absolute power and control, but on a global scale. The plan is to secretly have a single body governing the planet with the elite sitting right on the top of the food chain, leaving the rest of the world to fight it out for that 1% of the global economy. Scarier is the fact that they apparently also want to keep control of the global population. They want the global population to be just under a billion, leaving the Earth's resources for their own exclusive use. And to keep the population in check, they are willing to go to any extent, even plan scientifically engineered global population control methods like viruses, vaccines, and genetically modified food. It is also said that these families even hold the cure for terminal disease like cancer and AIDS, but don't want to release it to the public because then there will be a cure, and a cure is not good for the pharma business. The master planners devised the strategy of a merger, a great merger among nations. But before such a merger can be consummated and the United States becomes just another province in a new world order, there must at least be a semblance of parity among the senior partners in the deal. How does one make nations of the world more nearly equal? The insiders determined that a two-pronged approach was needed. Use American money and know-how to build up your competitors, while at the same time use every devious strategy you can devise to weaken and impoverish this country. The goal is not to bankrupt the United States, rather is to reduce our productive might and therefore our standard of living to the major subsistence or level of the socialist nations of the world. The plan is not to bring the standard of living in less developed countries up to our level, but to bring ours down to meet theirs coming up. It is your standard of living which must be sacrificed on the altar of the new world order. Gary Allen, in his book called The Rockefeller File, said, 13 families that secretly control the world now, for those famous bloodlines who control everything. These guys are so rich and powerful, they make Ambani and Gates look like peasants. Their ideologies and connections are not known to the public, which is why you don't know much about them. Don't question yourself if you don't recognize them. That was their plan throughout. 13 families that secretly control the world are the Astor bloodline, the Bandit bloodline, the Collins bloodline, the Dupont bloodline, the Freeman bloodline, the Kennedy bloodline, the Lee bloodline, the Onassis bloodline, the Rockefeller bloodline, the Roosevelt bloodline, the Van Damme bloodline, the Merovingian bloodline, and lastly the Rothschild bloodline. True or not, the whole concept is a bit unsettling. Just imagine being played around like puppets. What do you feel about the concept of having one government? Share with us your view in the comment section. That is all the information you have gathered on that certain families that are ruling the world, and all that certain families are grouped in one organization commonly known as Illuminati. During this information gathering about that certain families that are ruling the world, we have used different materials from different platforms. The one we have used are Wikipedia, ageoftruth.dk, and realworld.net.